When we talk about personal development, what areas are we focusing on? We have 5 general areas. They are matters of knowledge, and we're going to look at what financial knowledge might be necessary. We have what we call financial skills. We might also want to revisit our attitude to money and how we can build our attitude to money. You know, there are people there who will say money is evil. We will also want to understand and build our capacity in networks because we need to know more people. And we're also going to look at something called emotional intelligence. Let's start by looking at knowledge. What kind of knowledge are we discussing about? We are looking at what we call usable information or usable data, because knowing alone is not enough. It must be something that you can use. And there's always a nice joke about the horse and the duck. And it is in the fable, so animals are speaking. The duck is saying to the horse, "You're very useless animal. All you do is you run. You're not like me. You know, me, I can actually walk. I can also fly." The horse says, "There's something fundamentally wrong with you. You, when you swim, you actually swim in the murky waters. When you fly, it's just because you've been frightened. And you actually don't walk, you wade. Me, when I run, I only do running. But when I run so well that people actually pay to come and see me run. So, do we want to be like the horse? So we only running? Or do we want to be like the duck? We can do a few more things. So do we want to be something in between? I think we need to clearly understand what is money. Because money is different things. Money as an enabler and how it enables people. Money as the currency of life, you know, that which determines many of the things that we do. And money is a source of evil, because there is no denying money can be a source of evil. A lot of the dirty things people do, money has a hand in it. When we're talking about all this corruption in this country, it's a money thing.
It's money.
We also need to understand money as a legal tender. You know, it's you keep it in the pocket, but not you as the government. You can't wake up one morning and decide to ban it. You will actually be jailed. And we need to understand why money is a catalyst. That money will get things to happen. And it gets good things to happen, it gets bad things to happen. We also might want to understand the hidden characteristics of money, like the way money loves movement and why money doesn't like staying in one place. Why does money cause emotions? Because people get very emotional around money. Could be a lot of excitement or could be a lot of anger. When you're talking about knowledge in money, we also need knowledge on how to set goals, and we need to know how to set our short-term goals, our medium-term goals, and our long-term goals. And because the money we have is never going to be enough for everything at once, we need to have the knowledge of how to do prioritization. At the family level, that concept of prioritization is the basis of conflict, because everybody wants their desires or their needs to be number one. We also need to understand the difference between needs and wants, and that becomes very, very important. It is also important to understand how to measure financial progress, because a lot of times we measure our financial progress by comparison. And surely there must be a better way of measuring financial progress, and that's why we discuss something like how to work out net worth statements. We also need to have the knowledge of how to measure financial wellness, just in a more practical way, measuring how your welfare is in the financial side. As you're looking at knowledge areas, we cannot forget credit management, you know, managing debt. But the problem is not having debt. There's nothing wrong with debt. There's everything wrong with having bad debt. But we need to be able to distinguish which is the bad debt and which is the good debt. Because we need to know how to use other people's money to create wealth. Then we need to understand how to work out the cost of money. So those are knowledge areas, how to work out the cost of money. When you give an interest, sometimes quoted per month, sometimes it's quoted per annum. How do you tell the difference? When you talk about wealth, how is it created? And what's the difference between wealth and riches? And we need to understand something called the cash flow quadrant. Again, these are knowledge areas. That there are things you'll do yourself, there are some things you need to leave your money to do for you. We also need to have knowledge on how to monetize. How do you convert your knowledge into money? If you have a skill, how do you convert it into money? If you have a talent, if you have the network. And more importantly, I think it helps a lot to understand investment vehicles. Because part of the reason why we always losing is we do not know how investment vehicles work. And we do not know how well to go into what vehicle and when not to go into it. We need to gather knowledge around those areas. There are also areas of risk management. We need to understand risk management at a personal level. A lot of times we stay away from insurance because we don't understand how insurance works. And if you have the knowledge of how insurance works, you see how central it is when you're managing the risks. We're looking at setting up trust. What's a trust and how do you set it up? And in fact, even the basic things like writing wills, which are very, very important. It is critical to say we have many things that we need to know. And so sometimes the question is, so where do we get the knowledge on this? And I want to propose a few places. You can go out and look for books. You can go out into the internet. You can go into the YouTube, and you can actually learn. Because we are in Africa, we must use our traditional learning methods to learn from your seniors and your peers. There are people who've been there before you. It might also help to loop in experts. If you're looking into a given area, if you're going to buy shares, you cannot keep away from a stockbroker. We have financial advisors. We also have consultants. You learn more by engaging an expert in a given area. The one that can actually help you put everything together is if you got into a structured financial literacy program, like the Wealth Creation Masterclass that we run, because now all this knowledge is put together in a fairly structured way, in a way that has been tested, in a way that is practical. That's about knowledge, and you can see it's a rich area. There are financial skills that we need to have. We have a skill that's called cash flow analysis. And this is a skill to help you to take charge of your money. One is to capture the expenses, capture the money that goes out of our wallet or our purse. The next one is analyzing. Analyzing helps us to have clarity on where is the money going. And once you have clarity on where the money is going, then you're able to use that skill to do the second thing, which is called budgeting. And budgeting is purely resource allocation. These are the resources I have, these are the goals I want to achieve, and this is how I'm going to allocate the resources. And there is actually a way to learn the skill and to use it. There's also a skill in shopping. Skilled shoppers will come with a shopping list because they understand that the people who have gone to school to do marketing are always going to lay traps along the way so that they're able to attract your money. You need to learn a skill of something called comparison shopping. You do not always buy from the first shop. You must be able to know where the deals are, and you must have a system of finding out where the deals are. When you are selecting investments, the skill of picking which investments do I go to. If I have 5,000 shillings and I want to invest, where do I invest this? If I have 50,000, where do I put it? What if I have 500,000? There are also skills in risk management. If you want to manage your risks. And there's a skill in monetizing what we have. There's a lot of skill sets that we need to learn so that we can be able to be good in that. To learn these skill sets, some of them you might need a coach. Some of them you might need a book to read. Some of them you might actually need to go to college. Third area, we say it is attitude and attitude to money. Very, very key, because your attitude to money will help you either move forward or stagnate or at a point, or actually regress. And when we're talking about attitude is, how do you see money? There are people who see money as evil. And if it is evil, what do? Avoid it. But is it practical to avoid it? Would you want to revisit that attitude to see where was it built from? Okay? I always say, take action. Put together a program and say to yourself, I've listened about knowledge, I've listened about skills, and I've listened about attitude. What am I going to do? And one of the things you can actually do is to give yourself a gift. You can actually join the Wealth Creation Masterclass. If you're not very sure what it is, take a chance. Come and see. I'll give you a free 3-hour lesson. Just send your name now to 0708 150137.